Yo guys, what's going on? This is Yoki Man here. Welcome back to another episode of my Football Manager 2019 save here with Braga. And as you can see off camera, things have been going dreadful as per usual. We are inconsistent in form. We're not playing well. I can't get tactics to work. We're having the worst time we've had with Braga, but we are going to turn it around today with a victory against Benfica. Realistically puts us in a very good position. We ain't ever going to catch the top two, and I knew I wouldn't catch the top two, especially after the start of the season. In the Portuguese league, you have to get off to a better start, considering that Sporting haven't lost a game yet. Although I will note that they've sold Rafinha, who is by far their best player, to Man United for a ridiculous fee, so that could help us. And Porto have only lost one game, which was against Sporting. They're definitely going to be dominant this season. Benfica seem to be struggling, so hopefully we can pick up a win against them, which means we would leapfrog them and hopefully push us into third. Now, I'm happy with finishing third. I wouldn't mind that Champions League money again because that's definitely helped us out, and hopefully going forward then we can carry on building this squad. I'm kind of tweaking and trying to figure out what's going to work this time round tactically. We're going very minimalistic. It is very much tactics with Yorkie every episode now, but we're going very minimalistic in instructions, which is kind of how I used to play the game, especially like on 18 and 17. I went very little instructions and kind of just let the players speak for themselves. I'm hoping that's going to work this time around because we do have some good players, but we've had some transfers in and we've definitely had some transfers out. So let's look at the transfers before we get into the schedule and you can see how dreadful we have been. So first of all, let's get rid of the outs, and Leitner has gone. As you saw, we brought in Osman, who is more than capable, in fact, actually very much better than Leitner, and Leitner hasn't had a good season. Last year was quite a good year for him, but this year was not a good year for him. We got 6 million for him, which I think is a reasonable fee. I don't remember what we actually paid for him. We got him on a free, so to get 6 million profit is pretty decent for him. And yeah, he was decent. He was serviceable. It meant we didn't have to spend big money on a goalkeeper in that time period, especially last season when we didn't have the funds. But Baha is in now. Osman is in the van, and he's definitely the future of our goalkeeping position. And sadly, Paulinho is gone. Like I said, there was just no room for him in the squad. He wasn't strong enough to be our right midfielder in any way, shape or form compared to what we had. Martins and Marquez, in my opinion, was better there, and he wasn't strong enough to be the left because Donis and Horta, so it was really difficult for him to get game time, and I definitely favoured Suarez and Luka Jovic over him 100%, but he did have a very good career for us. He was very good for us from the get-go. 13 goals in that first season. Was that us? Was we there then? Yeah. 1 goal though in this season, which is pretty disappointing. But this was the season for me, 2021, when we had a lot of injuries up front. He got 18 goals overall. It was a superb season for him. Very good. But then the season after, he wasn't. This season he hasn't really done it for us. Last season he was pretty decent, but he was never going to get the game time once Luka Jovic came back. So it's a bit of a shame. He's been a very good player for us. He is a very good player, and they got him for a steal, because they only paid 6 million for him, but I was kind of happy to have him off the books considering we just weren't going to use him. But as you can see here, we actually let Bruno Viana go. I mean, he was complaining. That is literally the only reason we let him go. I like him. I really liked him as a player. He's been solid for us when he's played. He's played quite a bit of football, so I don't know why he was so anxious to go, but he wanted to leave the squad. And with Santos and Cardoso and Cortese, and I did manage to sneak a lone player in as well to kind of replace Bruno. So you'll see who that is, a little well-known talent from France. But yeah, he wanted to go. We let him go. He's been very good for the club. I think we got about 8.5 million rising to 10 or something like that. But yeah, I've really enjoyed using him. He's been a solid centre-back from the get-go. I signed him for 2.5 million in the season that I first started, and his average rating it just pretty much shows you, apart from this season where we've not been as good, to be fair, but neither has he. He had solid average rating all around, very reliable, and a very good player. 8.5 million. It's not a bad haul, and it is a record transfer fee for us, to be fair. So it's not the end of the world. Sad to see him go, but he's been a very good player for us. But we do definitely have better talent coming through now. So, As I said, the first of our ins, Dan Axel Zagadou, is in. He's in on loan, of course. There was no way we was ever going to be able to afford him. But I used him in my Monaco stream over on Twitch, and I loved him. I thought he was brilliant. So we managed to get him in. He's a very good player. He's not short, which is very good for us. He's not bad at heading the ball. I'm hoping he's going to be really good for us because of his jumping reach, and he's a quick defender as well. So he really suits the way we want our defenders to play with the high line. So he should be very good for us. I'm very excited to have him. I don't think he's done much for Dortmund. I didn't really look. He hasn't done much at all. I mean, really, he's done nothing. So hopefully, maybe, potentially, we could pick him up long term. I've noticed that this time around, there are a lot of frees that you can pick up. So his contract expires next season. There's a lot of good frees you could pick up that we're looking at the minute. There's players like Guendouzi who's coming up on a free. And there's a good few others as well that look like they're going to be on frees that we may end up picking up. But our biggest issue right now is we really don't have a structure that can afford to pay some of the wages that some of the players that we could potentially bring in want. We then also loaned this lad Mark. I'm going to call him Mark because saying that last name and butchering it will be very difficult. Now, we pretty much signed this guy because Nuno left the club. We sold him for a very, very small fee, and I felt like we needed a replacement for him. We do have two loaned left backs, so left back is 100% a position we need to focus on in the next window. But like I said, I think we'll probably be given a little bit more money again next season, and this guy definitely fills in a role that we want to use and a role that we can use. He's a very good player. He's not good going forward in terms of how I normally like my wing-backs. As you know, I like my wing-backs to be very good going forward, and he's not really particularly that good going forward, but he's got decent marking and his passing's okay, and he's definitely more than good enough for us to come in when De Silva's injured or out. And in fact, De Silva's injured right now, so it's helpful that we managed to pick him up. He's better than Nuno, and that was the upgrade. He's a better player than Nuno was. Just because I missed Nuno, the 31-year-old, we did sell him. We sold him for 250k. As you can see here, he's not a bad player, but I just couldn't get consistent performances out of him. His dribbling and crossing is pretty decent, but he never really managed to get himself in those positions, which was probably the biggest issue for me going forward. He wasn't very good when he got into the final third, but he wasn't a bad player. But I just felt like he didn't want to be here. He could get moved on. We're paying a contract. Let's just get in a loan player just to replace him just for this season. In case you guys missed it, in the last episode we did bring in Linda. Probably going to be the best player in this series. We've got a player called Linda, the 18-year-old South African. He just looks ridiculous. He comes into the squad with this rating. We can change this up now. We can change this back to is it pros and cons? What do we have it on? Comparison. We can change it back to this. He comes in as our second best right midfielder. In star rating, in reality, Ricardo's never going to play as the right midfielder. And I would say Fabio Martins is probably better than him. Yeah, Marquez is probably better than him as well at this moment in time. But look at his crossing. He's just an out-and-out perfect winger. He's brilliant. I can't believe we managed to bring him in, and the fact that he's called Linda just makes it even better for me. And we tied him down on a long-term contract. He's away at the minute in the African Nations Cup, African Cup of Nations, or whatever it's called. He's away at that at the minute. But when we get him back, I'm really excited to see what we could do with him. He is a talent. He is quick as well. That acceleration of 16. I like this guy. He's going to be awesome for the team. And last but not least, this is probably the biggest transfer fee I have paid for a player in the entire save so far. Considering we're in season 4 in January, that's insane. But Tammy Abraham came in. I'm kind of a fan of him in real life. I think he's a good player in real life, underutilized. He's a good player. He's better than the 3.5 million we paid for him. He did have a dreadful first game, though. He did have a really bad first game, but we're not playing well as it is. But I'm hoping with his pace and his ability and his finishing, he can really push Luka Jovic, or they can play together as a two with Tammy Abraham playing a bit further forward and Luka Jovic being the poacher. And that kind of worked out what formation we're going to be playing overall once we've managed to finally get a tactic working. But I just felt like he was a really good player to bring in. Now, we've broken our rule in terms of contracts. He's the biggest contract at the club, I believe, and the biggest contract I've paid for a player. But this is kind of the first player that's pushing us into that mould now of higher contracts, and he's probably one of the first ones. But I felt like he warranted it for a striker. If he can get the goals, then he's more than worth it. Plus, I think in terms of resale value, if he plays well, we'll get a hell of a lot of money for Tammy Abraham. But that was it for the transfers. Let's go look at the schedule and see how we've been getting on. Right, guys, so since the last episode where we drew to Pacius Ferreira in the 95th minute, very, very frustrating, we then lost to Porto 2-0. It was quite a close game, but we did really bad defensively, and Porto ripped us apart. We then played Boavista, we beat them 2-1, Luka Jovic and Joe Novius, with them getting a late goal, really made it tight towards the end, but we managed to win. And then played against Benfica, and it was a close game. It was a very close game. They snatched a goal in the 81st minute, but it really could have gone either way. We didn't take our chances. And unfortunately, we were out of the League Cup, which is a final I think we've been in for the past at least 2 seasons. So that was a little bit of a shame. Out of both of the cups now, but at least we can just focus on the league and the Europa League. The Europa League, we do have Wolfsburg. I don't know if I mentioned that last time. We have Wolfsburg. We'll have a quick look at them in a minute. We then beat Tondela 2-0. Ramirez and Yuri Medeiros, who was in, because Fabio Martins and Marquez are having very much injury-prone seasons. But a good result there against Tondela. And then against Astral, we drew 2-2. It was very frustrating. They scored, then we scored. Thank you, Ricardo Horta. Then they scored, and then we left until the 81st minute, and we just couldn't capitalise. Again, bad defensive performances. Jay De Silva mainly, and Tammy Abraham on a 6.3 on his debut was absolutely awful. So we have really gone back to basics with this tactic. I will be playing in extended again. I think I might just do the episodes in extended from now on. You guys just leave a comment and let me know if you think it would be better with them being key. I am playing myself in comprehensive to try and figure out if I can get a tactic to work, but I'm hoping this way round may work. And a win against Benfica really would spark us going forward. So let's have a quick look at Wolfsburg and see what kind of team we'll be coming up against. And instantly, if we look at the value, they've got Maximilian Arnold, Richadley Brazor. Wow, how did he turn out? He's pretty solid, isn't he, as a central midfielder? They've got some very good players. Let's be honest, they've got better players than us, but that means absolutely nothing in a knockout leg. Hopefully we can beat them. It's a tough draw. You're always guaranteed a tough team. So obviously this is a team that dropped out of the Champions League as well. So hopefully we can get a good result against them. I really hope we can. But yeah, let's get into the Benfica game and let's pick the team. Right, guys, so this will be the team we go for. Jovic up top, Donis on the left, Martins on the right, Quintero in the centre, of course. Gakuru and Febas. And then we've got Mark at left back, Ricardo at right back, Zagadou and Cardoso, and Osman in the net. Now, I have no idea how this is going to work out, how this formation. This is completely new. Custom clean slate, as you can see. These are what we're going for, and I'm going to work with this and try and hope that the team can be successful with it. We do have a lot of players that are tired, as you can see. Ramirez has been playing well, he's on 86%. We're hoping Armand will be back soon because he's having a breakout season. Novius is tired, Santos is tired. We've got a lot of players that are tired that we would want them to be playing, so that's a little bit of a shame. But this should be... I say it should be a strong enough side against Benfica, but this should be a good enough team. Wow, look at this guy up front. This is insane. I've never heard of this guy before. He's a real player by the looks of it because he doesn't have a regen face. Diego Cardoso has 17 dribbling, 16 finish, 16 first touch. Wow, like... where has this guy been hiding? Okay, so this is his career stats. Wow, he's only just broken into the team. This will be one of his few early games for the team, but like, where has this guy been hiding in the under-23? So that means Porto and Benfica have two like absolute superstar youngsters. He looks, I mean, his physicals aren't awesome, are they? He's quite quick, but they're not awesome. But these technicals, this dribbling, first touch and finishing, technique's good, off the ball's good, composure. He's going to be an issue. We need to mark him tight today. I genuinely believe if we can play our own game, we can pick something up from this game. I take a draw right now. Let's be honest. I take a draw right now, but I want to win. It'll be interesting to see how the boys get on, though. I mean, it's not good signs already, is it, when Benfica have the ball this early on? What I don't want to concede is an early goal, because then it doesn't really give this tactic chance to kind of show what it can do, because we're very new at playing it. So I really don't want to concede an early goal. It looks like they're going to go wide, so maybe we'll defend with width. I think we're going to go with that. We're going to defend wide, and let's see how that does for us. It'll be interesting. They're playing a similar formation to what we've played before. I'm just hoping it's a tight game. I'm hoping the the new instructions we've decided. I mean, we've won 5 out of 5. It's 6 out of 6 headers, guys. If that doesn't deserve a thumbs up, then I don't know what does. The 6 out of 6 headers already, wow. 100% headers won. This is where they score now, though. We really need to maybe get an attack. You know, I would imagine against a team such as this, maybe we want to. That was always bad, wasn't it? That was always bad. Maybe we want to get stuck in, and let's press a little bit. But I don't want to change too much. I don't want to change too much because from what I've seen so far is when you change tons, it doesn't seem to work. I want us to focus down the wings as well. We're strongest down the wings, I think. Oh, we're strongest through the middle. Gedson Fernandez scoring. We didn't really close down very well. It's a soft header to give away. We'll stay balanced for now, but I am tempted to change that up soon. Maybe even positive. Go on, Donis. Come on, Donis. We was going to sell Donis. Well, we've contemplated selling Donis. Could be in trouble here already. I think we'll be better when we win the ball back. If we can win the ball, the problem is we're winning the ball back and they're getting all the second balls. That is the issue at the minute. Well, we're being dominated here. Ziyech. I mean, if we can keep them to long shots, let's go positive. We're not really getting the balls to the wings like I would have wanted to. Let's get creative. We're not really finding our wingers, which was the whole idea. Quintero with the free kick. High and wide. I mean, they definitely could do more damage here, I think. We seem nice and tight, though, in terms of our defence so far. I kind of want us to be winning the ball back, though, and countering on them, which I haven't seen us do once in this game. I haven't seen us do it once. I haven't seen us win the ball back and counter. I mean, that's frustrating because we're passing short. We're passing short, and his distribution should be to the fullbacks or the centre back, and he's just booting that long. Why? That's really irritating. Tactically, what sense does that make? Okay, our passes have been poor. Headers have been pretty decent, but our passes have been poor. Well, we're yet to really create anything, if I'm being honest. Donis there. That was awful. It was a poor ball in. Zagadou should collect that, though. Osman. Will he do what we're expecting him to? That's better. That's better. Febas. We need to have a bit more possession. We're technically quite good on the ball. Oh, God, what are we doing? Gedson just puts it wide. This is bad. This is the worst we've seen, Braga. Martins isn't having a good season, but that wasn't a bad ball. That was better. Let's keep looking for stuff like that. Quintero. Febas. Runs with it. Finds Ricardo. Can we get decent... Oh, Ricardo keeps it on for them to win. Zagadou. Febas losing out on the ball again. Which allows them to counter. And they're very dangerous on the counter, and we concede again. We've been so sloppy. We're going to take our focus through the middle as well, because it's not working. It's time to be a bit more disciplined. We're not working well. Again, we've seen this so many times. Febas loses possession in the midfield, and when you're playing against a team like this, they're going to counter on you very well. They can score the goals, and really, as a playmaker, I'm looking for him to pass the ball. I'm not looking for him to dribble around the pitch with the ball. I mean, we look really dreadful. We cannot string a passage of play together at the moment. If I'm being honest, we can't string a single passage of play together. We're not doing very well at trying to win the ball back, and we're just giving them space. And they do have players who can shoot well from long distance. Hitting them on the counter hasn't worked at all. Player like Fabio Martins on a 6.2. I don't think Luka Jovic has touched the ball. Right, so we're going to change things up for this second half. We're going to really try and attempt to do something different, because whatever we're doing right now is not working whatsoever. We're going to kind of go for it, because at this point I don't feel like we've got anything to lose. So why not go for it? We're 2-0 down. We're away from home. What is the worst that can happen? Let's go with this formation. The attacking midfielder weren't working. Martins has been awful, so I've pushed Quintero to the right. And let's see if we could just create anything. Just be less stagnant. Let's put them under threat. I don't know if potentially we want to counter press. They're going to cause an issue here. They've got some very good players. The way they move the ball is brilliant. Again, we managed to kind of clear our lines, but nothing comes from it. Absolutely nothing comes from it. What's not good for us is another highlight that is in their favour. They are absolutely all over us in this game. We cannot win a thing. We cannot win an absolute thing. Look at this. We've been completely shut out. Completely. We're going to counter press as well now. But I kind of think it's all she wrote for this one. I wanted us to come out the second half, come out the traps a little bit. We've not had a shot this second half. Tammy Abraham's not really affected the game. We've not had a single shot. We really are going to be drawing board now with this, I think, because maybe against a smaller team we can work on it. But against Benfica you don't really want to be trying a new tactic out. But really poor performance. Tammy Abraham picks that up there, though. He finds Medeiros, who just can't... Kakuri couldn't whip a perfect ball over, but that's the best we've looked. I think that's the first highlight that I've been able to commentate over that was for us, and us actually doing something. Cardoso, that's one back. There is time left. This is better play. This is the best we probably looked here. Nice goal. Wow, nicely struck from Cardoso. We are counter-pressing now. And the idea is to just put them under as much pressure as possible. We're practically playing 4 up top. Maybe it's time we start to develop a 4-4-2. We've not tried that this year. This is bad because we're counter-pressing, but we're standing off. I don't understand that. And that was a poor header, as per usual. Oh, Wijnaldum finishes the game. There we go. 3-1. The goal came back and it looked decent for us, but I don't know what kind of counter-press that was. Other players didn't seem to be getting back. The defensive header and clearance was dreadful, and it kind of just goes to show how the season's going for us. Ricardo having an awful game, and just us in general having a bad game, let's be honest. But we really need to work against beating the teams that are lower down in the league. I suppose Benfica is a very good... Oh, wow. Wijnaldum again here. We have been punished. 4-1. This is the most difficult live com we've had, I think, this season. This is really poor. This is going to take some work to turn this around. I'm telling you that now. This is going to take some real work to turn around, because this team right now is not playing well. Febas, Abraham, Jovic. Well, at least Abraham and Jovic linked up well there for a goal. 4-2. We just needed to be tighter. Conceded those 2 Wijnaldum goals. Considering he was a player we nearly had, we're not good enough. But we've let ourselves down. Let's bring on Cortese for Ricardo, because he's on a 5.7. He's been torn to shreds this game, and that is just not good enough. The fact that we managed to come back and score 2 goals is a little bit of a highlight. Can Jovic beat him there? No. We can't get onto that even now. They're going to pass right through us. It could be another goal for Benfica here. And it is going to be. And it's our man. 5-2. We played more open to go for it. And, well, we've been ripped apart. We've not marked well. We've not defended well once again. What a surprise. And we've been ripped apart there. We've been ripped apart in this game. It's a real painful watch. 5-2 against Benfica. I was really hoping for a better season this year. Donis plays an awful ball there. Right, 5-2. Defensively, shambles. Goalkeeper wasn't good. Midfielders weren't great. Donis, awful. We're really going to have to... I don't know what we're going to do, guys. I've got to be honest with you. We're at a point in this save now where we're 4 seasons in, and one patch has ruined everything we've built tactically. All the tactics we built season 1 and 2 just do not work now. They just... I don't know why. They just do not work anymore. And it's very frustrating. And I really don't know what we're going to do moving forward. We just need to rescue this season. Try and get third. And like I said, I think if we finish 4th, we'd still keep our jobs. But try and get third and then just try and see what we can do. Hey guys, so that's going to be it for this episode. It's very, as you can tell, I'm a little bit deflated. It's been a real frustrating season. You know, we've only won 9 games in the league. We've lost 5, which I think is the most since I've been in charge, or at least the most since the first season. I can't get a tune out of the team. I just can't get them performing. We collapsed there towards the end while Nildem getting 2 and Danilo. You know, we were going for the game, and that's kind of what happens when you're playing against such a good side. But tactically, I really don't know what to do at this moment in time to change our fortunes. I'm really struggling with why nothing is, just nothing is working. Nothing is yielding any kind of good results. We did look a tiny bit better when we changed up to 2 up front, so maybe we may potentially start playing that now we've got the players to do it. But we're really going to just have to have a look at it and see what I can do. But anyway, guys, make sure to subscribe if you're new around here and feel my pain, and I will catch you in the next episode.